I can't think of one thing. I can't think of one thing. It isn't a joke or something to laugh at. I'm so lost, don't know where my map's at. The ideas are all soaring, and they're all quite boring. I'm not talking nonsense, I'm speaking quite clearly. My emotion is rampant, I mean it sincerely. I could write you a poem all written in verse, but I have to think of an idea to write about first. I'm tossed and I'm found, my head spinning round, too far in my thoughts, an unquenchable thirst. What does it take to make this thing art? To feel like your world is coming apart? Too much to say, I'll waste it away, but I don't believe you're born smart. We learn by degree in a matter of time that mediocrity is not out of line, and soon lose sight of lofty delight, and settle on simple, easily defined. Theory and riddle turned into a curse, or segmented souls reach limits rehearsed, and structures, unnumbered, become stale and perverse. Repeating our actions, we make redundancy habit, always referring to that same white rabbit, and taking inspiration from inspiration's end, like saying make-believe isn't pretend. I'll tell you a story, believe it or not. My confusion is something that cannot be bought, of a girl who became one thing and then grew tired, and woke up a woman totally rewired, a reflection she never before had seen, and yet somehow the grass was more or less green. All of a sudden she knew nothing true and learned like a child, much overdue, something inevitable yet still not free, and no, that's not what my therapist told me. I can't think of one thing, not one single thing. I struggle to find an idea's emphasis, its meaning becoming its antithesis. My light bulb ideas give off too much light, blinded by chaos, manic my sight, too many concepts easily linked, creating a web on catastrophe's brink. But emotions are not so easily tamed. I hear that good artists all go insane. Likely, I imagine, although it's probably a myth. But what if you're crazy to start with? Then who's to blame? What colors to use, what structure to make, to trick you and not recognize it as fake. I will put on my thinking cap and decide how to hide this inevitable trap in this past modern vacuum where meaning's at stake. Amongst my tears I eagerly float, and flowers turn into music notes. Doors open wide, and down the hole I dive, through a story that someone else wrote. Pay attention now, it's just getting deep, and I don't want you to fall asleep. I need you, I do. Please don't refuse. Tell me before the message tone beeps. But this isn't a phone call. My time is forever. My thoughts are soaring, and ending is never. The connections are wide, I've just hit my stride, and you, the reason, the side to be on. Without you, I would surely be gone. No audience to engage, no ear to hear me. I am a medium, the words are near empty. I am not one thing, no message received, no one to mourn, no one bereaved. Of music and mayhem, I find my world flying, painted roses alike, old images dying, and finding rebirth, all happy and new. not keeping their meaning in this imagery stew. I can't think of one thing. I can't think of one thing. This is something you've already seen. Like something from nothing, all in a dream. But this dream is many, and I'm awake, and asking for another helping of unbirthday cake. Influences plenty, but emotion unique. My image is nothing compared to the chic that surrounds this wonder conceptual land. These ideas are so many, all out of hand. Backwards and forwards, no goal to move towards, and art loses taste, blighted and bland. Old paintings are pretty, with a high price, but I'm square, sugar and spice, or warded without gaze in a structural maze. It isn't about men, merely about mice. My tutus, my bonnets are traditions I'll keep, but the path may be hard, the mountain is steep. I want to be listened to, not only heard, not just a silly, simple songbird, but fighting for fairness doesn't come cheap. I deftly maneuver and muscle for rank, fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Because it's been done, already in hand, created in history, written by man, like some kind of jovial, juvenile prank. I'm not being spiteful, just stating some words. Blame not found, all nailed up with boards. It isn't about giving, but not being judged by my anatomy, my shape, or mascara smudged. But even that is too simple for something so big. Let's change the subject to a story, a tale, and a jig. Tea time to tinker, just moving along. To a sister of mine, it's where I belong. She's my context, my joy, my understanding. When I'm flying, she is my landing. The camera loves her, she twinkles and shines. Our mother so proud, her beauty divine. Someone once said we look alike, us two. Does that mean I'm beautiful too? I can't think of one thing, not one single thing. Of beauty and lyrics my mind wanders. My past passes me, and I grow fonder of where I have been, yet losing so much. Retiring and starting were always so tough. My pond outgrown, my fins realigned, my love of the water in a letter unsigned. Because it's unfinished, I'm not dead yet. The aesthetics, the ritual of getting wet. But to the sea I'm born, or to the bathtub forlorn. My needs for the water will never be met. But rigider dreams, they change when you know more about the places you thought you would go. And new paths unfold with stories untold, and patience is a virtue I wish I could know. Of love and travel I aspire to now, but unravel it might, and I don't know how, to make up for time lost and defrost the frost with what fiscal responsibility will allow. Unprepared yet willing to start anew, the anxiety abundant, I'm still turning blue. With this Cheshire logic, now all technologic, from here the world looks so big and askew. I'm still talking, I hope you don't mind. If you missed something, feel free to rewind. The story is told in my mind snapshot, with nothing but rhyme and polka dots. My pixels are plenty, the tape doesn't end. The tissue is used, the rips never mend. There are too many signs in so many ways to understand life, acting in plays, playing in games, gaming with balls. In all of these words, there's no meaning at all. No reason predicting, all meaning nothing, but nothing is something, so I must be bluffing. Say what I mean, and I mean what I say, but nothing has meaning today.